We're going. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Storytale Staging inside the Home Staging TV channel. My name is Tori Toth, and we have an amazing guest with us today. So, let me tell you a little bit about her before I bring her in. She is the CEO and design director of Enhance Your Home LLC and is an internationally known award-winning home stager. It was funny, we were just kind of talking about some of the awards she just won recently. She holds an MBA and is a certified home stager and also has several other staging designations. I love the fact that she's always out there continuing to learn. She has also worked in the staging industry for 14 years and is a Nevada state accredited CE instructor, which that means she teaches CE classes frequently, I'm sure, to real estate agents. She's a member of RISA and IHOS and also the Women's Council of Realtors. And some of those awards that she's won recently includes 2019 My Vegas Magazine Top 100 Women of Influence, IHOS, the trifecta winner for both 2019 and 2020, and of course, Best Occupied Luxury Stager for IHOS in 2020 as well. I want to welcome Gail Novak to the show today.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, Gail, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. So I love. Before we get into some of the pictures that you shared with us, talk to us about what it's like staging in Nevada, like the home staging market there.
Well, the interesting thing is that the realtors here in Nevada are not used to staging. I mean, here it is, 2021, and I've been doing staging for 14 years. I moved from Chicago to here, and I got here and I started networking with realtors and said, "So, have you ever done staging before?" And they were like, "No, no, 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 no." And I went to the Women's Council of Realtors, which I've been a member of for a very long time, starting in Chicago. And I swear to you, I could have gone up to 5 realtors in a row and said, "Have you used staging?" And they all said, "No, no, 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 no." And it was like, what decade am I in? What year am I in? Oh my God. It was so strange. And of course, the reason for that is because of the market in Las Vegas. They were not used to having to do much of anything in Las Vegas to sell a house other than put a for sale sign out in front of the house. They would put out the set for sale sign and the house would sell. And they would put out the sign and the house would sell. And that's what they were used to. It's like, oh, I don't have to do anything to sell this house. I just have to put out the house, no matter what the condition of the house was, no matter if there was, crappy furniture or toys or all sorts of stuff around the house, or the house was vacant, or the house was in horrible shape. Didn't matter. They put out the sign, the house would sell. And that's what they were used to.
So what? How have you been changing their mentality? How have you been?
Well, I would like to tell you that I've been walking around with a 2x4 hitting them over the head. I would like to say that because that's what I feel like I would like to do. But no, it's been an uphill battle. What I've been doing is I am a member of the Women's Council of Realtors, and whenever possible, I go to all of the meetings and all of the orientations and all of the mixers, and I speak to as many realtors as I can. I get as many business cards and contacts as I can. I meet with as many realtors as I can, and I do as many presentations as I can about what is home staging and how it can help you make how it can help you make more money and how it can help your homeowners sell their homes faster and probably for more money. And the big deal is don't leave money sitting on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to tell you that my record is, and you can look it up on the MLS, my record is over 90% of the houses I stage sell in about 3 weeks.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, and when my realtors and my homeowners hear that, they're blown away. And the most hysterical thing is recently is that the $1 million houses that I deal with, here's the joke, is that a $1 million owner or realtor calls me and I say, oh yes, I'd love to come over and do a walkthrough and give you an estimate or a quote. And by the time I've got the quote done, the house sells. And it's like, all I have to do is go do a walkthrough, and people start to hear that I'm doing a walkthrough. And all of a sudden, everything picks up and the house sells. And I don't know what it is, but this has happened 4 times in a row on over $1 million homes.
Wow.
And it's crazy. But the thing is that like 2 weeks ago, we had a $400,000 house. We staged the house on Thursday. They put it on the market on Saturday and Sunday. 9 offers, and it sold for 20,000 over list.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, "Oh, well, it's a seller's market." It's like, no, no, believe me, this house looked like every other house on the market on that street in that area. It was competing with every other house. So what made it different? What made this house different than the house down the block and the house around the corner? It was the fact that this house was staged and the other houses were not. So, and the fact that this house sold for 20,000 over list price, you don't want to leave that money lying on the table. So when realtors say, "Oh, well, it's going to sell anyway," it's like, "Oh, great. So you want to leave money on the table? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sell it without staging and leave the money on the table."
It's always a hard sell with the real estate agents, and I feel like educating the sellers too, about the process and the need for it is helpful as well. Considering, I mean, yes, they might have to lay out money and might have some objections against that, but in all likelihood, they'll probably end up getting more money. Um, so so do you have a home staging process that you follow, or like do you have a niche
Absolutely.
that you like to? Okay, well share your process.
Well, our niche is actually occupied houses. We are
Mhm.
really the only staging company in town that I like to say we go in and touch other people's things. It's like, ew. But I actually have people that work with me that love to do this. We put on gloves, we put on masks, which we all wear now anyway. But we pull our hair back and put on the bandanas on our hair to pull our hair back, protect our hair, and we put on booties, and we go, rather than just going in as stagers and saying, well, you need to pick up all those toys and you need to declutter that bookcase, and you need to do this and you need to do that. We actually go in and do the decluttering and do the depersonalizing and move out the extra furniture. And we will move all of those things to the garage if possible. Or, of course, we can get them a pod, which, of course, with RISA, we can get them a discount, and with IHAS. Or we can get them locally, we can get them a storage unit, which, and I have to apologize, with my eyes, if I'm not looking straight up, you can't even see that my eyes are open, but they are open.
I see them; they're open.
Okay, okay, great. We here locally, I have a deal with a couple of storage companies that I can get them a storage unit anywhere in town for a discount. And that's one of the things that you want to make a partnership with storage companies that are in your local area. And so I can get them a pod, I can get them a storage unit, and we can make arrangements to get their extra furniture and boxes into a storage unit if that's what we need to do. But with my staging, those houses are going to sell so fast. If we can just put it into the garage neatly, those houses are going to go so quickly that all we're going to do is we're going to put it in the garage, it's going to sell fast, and then it's going to go into a moving truck. So that's the first thing that is our niche. That's why a lot of our realtors call me and they go, "Oh, thank goodness that we found you, because I have a 75-year-old woman that's been in her house for the last 50 years, and what would she do? She needs to be moving back east to go live with her family,
Mhm.
And what is she going to do? She has no kids here. She has no grandkids. Who is she? Who's going to? There was an organizer that was going to come and maybe help, but nobody does really what we do. We will do light packing, but there's certain things that we will not pack because my insurance. I won't do certain things because of my insurance.
I was going to
But
ask you about that. So what type of insurance do you need in order to feel safe touching other people's things?
well, I don't do valuable breakables like Hummels and like Wizard of Oz collectibles or those kind of breakables. Those kind of things I don't do.
Mhm.
Those are things that I leave for the movers because the moving companies have that kind of insurance. I don't have that kind of insurance. I don't want to chance it, so I don't do that. But things like books and things that are not really breakable,
Mhm.
I will pack all of those things up. If it's not overly breakable, I will pack it up, not a problem. Absolutely. And so I will pack those things. I will begin to do what I refer to as light packing.
Mhm.
And I mean, I go in and there's like, especially if it's a man's house, um, there. Had you ever gone to a men's houses, and it usually happens? There's so many chairs in men's house. They have all these chairs, all these armchairs. It's like, why do you have all these? Because they have all their guy friends over to play games or whatever,
Mhm.
to play video games, right? So they have all these armchairs. The house is not going to sell with all these armchairs. Okay, you need to get all these armchairs out. So we take all the armchairs out, but so we get all of those things out, and then we take all of their weird
Oh boy.
their weird artwork of Xena, Star Trek. We get all that stuff off, and the thing is, if they have Star Trek collectibles, they don't want us touching their Star Trek collectibles.
Mm-mm.
Believe me. Okay, so they lovingly, pack all of that stuff. If it's an 85-year-old woman, we make arrangements to do something about that. But if it's a guy with his Star Trek stuff, he's going to pack that up himself. But basically speaking, we do the decluttering, and I call it decluttering. I do. I don't worry about using another word for it. I just say decluttering, and because it's cluttered. That's what it is, and I call it by that name. And you know what? Nobody in 14 years, nobody seems to have a problem with that name, and that it doesn't seem to be offensive to anybody. So I just use that word. And then, the problem is that if I have a lot of family pictures, and especially the grandmas that I'm going into, and I'm by the way taking that IHASP senior designation course. I'm going to be taking that here shortly. Not that I don't know how to deal with seniors, but I might as well have a designation.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I deal with a lot of senior women, and they're going to be moving back east usually to live with their families, and we box up all of their things. One woman, she had a $600,000 house. Oh my God, she had the most gorgeous artwork, but she had so much artwork that you couldn't see anything but the artwork. I mean, it was huge, huge artwork everywhere. And so we had to literally clean out a closet to 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 make a place. And what we have to worry about here in Vegas is the heat,
Mm-hmm.
not the cold, but the heat. So we can't take artwork and put it in the garage. So we had to clean out there were like a master bedroom, and then the second bedroom also had a large closet. So we had to clean out that closet so that we could put all of the extra artwork on the floor in that closet. And so those are kind of things that we have to take into consideration when we're staging an occupied home.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's one of our niches, is that we do occupied homes and we touch other people's things. And in taking that into consideration, when we go in and do our initial consultation, and I was talking to a realtor, no, to a stager the other day. Um, we need to absolutely bond with our clients, with our homeowners when we go in. And I actually have a PowerPoint presentation that I show my homeowners. But before I do my PowerPoint presentation, which shows them about me and about my company and about statistics, about staging and about the photos of my before and afters, I sit there and I ask them, I say, so how, and here's the funny question, because nobody's from in Vegas, nobody's from Vegas. So I always say, so how long have you been in Vegas? And then, and usually they say, oh, 20 years or 10 years. And then sometimes you get the surprise, oh, I'm from Vegas. And you go, really? Because nobody's from Vegas, you know? And it's like, oh, that's surprising. That's great. So, you know, why are you leaving? And why are you selling your house? And where are you going? And what are you doing? And I ask them all sorts of questions to bond with them. Because keep in mind, these people need to trust me and they need to trust my crew. And if they trust me, they're going to trust my team and my people, because we're going to go in there and touch their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they don't know me from Adam. So they need to know me. They need to trust me. And I need to get to know them. They need to get to know me. We need to have some commonality. And if we don't, they're not going to want me to do their project. So I do that before I even show them anything. And whether it's an occupied house or a vacant house, that's the first thing that I do. And I just want to point that out to everybody, because if you're not doing that, you need to do it.
Yeah, that's important that you are building that bond straight off the bat. So you sent some pictures here. So this is a room that you had done. You want to tell us a little bit about this project?
Yeah, this was interesting because this house was owned by a realtor. And I was so surprised. She called me on December 14th of last year. And I went over and I was like, she was like, oh, you have to come stage this house. And I'm like, Randy, it's December. Are you sure? And she was like, yes, absolutely. You have to come stage my house. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. You know, I thought, well, okay, you know, she's no problem. I'll stage the house. It'll be on the market for like 2 months because nobody buys houses in December. And that's been, I mean, because in Chicago, nobody buys houses in December. And I was in Chicago for a long time. And so I went and I staged the living room and the family room and the dinette and the master bedroom. And here's how I staged it. And I have to tell you, this is our favorite sofa. We love this sofa, and we also hate this sofa because it's so incredibly heavy. I mean, you cannot pick up the sofa without taking all. This is a British leather sofa. It's a real leather with, and you have to literally take all the cushions off the sofa in order to pick it up. And you literally have to carry each cushion individually because that's how heavy the cushions are. It's incredibly heavy. And so that's why we hate it. And it takes at least 3 people to carry this sofa. But so we put this leather sofa in her family room, and I actually got leather butterfly chairs to put in there to match with our end tables and coffee tables that we got. And of course, we got the wonderful faux television.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like to say, I like to, and I haven't really come up with the exact word, but I don't like to overstage. I like to lightly stage. So as you see, I don't put a lot of books. I don't like to put a lot of accessories. And it's really a very much, I think, a Las Vegas style. Because when you come in, there's not a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of heavy stuff. It's light, it's breezy, and people come in and it's more of a Vegas style, I think. But that was one of the things.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like highlighting the fireplace too now that you have in that area.
Yeah.
What about this one? So this is.
And I'm sorry. And by the way, that house sold in less than 2 weeks at Christmas time.
Wow.
Yeah. Now this was amazing. This was our first house that we did during the pandemic. We were in Las Vegas. We were not considered to be an essential business, of course, of course. Why would staging be considered to be essential? Okay. And so this was a client that a realtor called us and said, please, there's got to be something that you can do to help. Well, in a normal situation, we would say, oh, no problem. We will come in, we will pick up all of your children's stuff. And you see that wooden thing up against the wall?
Yep.
That's a climbing wall that they built for their children during the pandemic so that their children could exercise by climbing up the wall. Can you imagine? They built in their living room, they built a climbing wall for their children.
So this looks like they were using this area as like their playroom, essentially.
Yeah, this is a huge playroom for their children. Okay, don't move it yet. Okay, so don't go to the next picture yet.
Uh-huh.
This is what we did. Raquel, I gave this project to Raquel. We decided that we had just first heard about doing a report, doing the whole thing on Zoom. Okay, so we decided to do this on Zoom, and we got on Zoom with them, and they took us on a tour. First of all, we got on Zoom. I did the PowerPoint presentation with them. I did the whole thing that I do normally on Zoom. I did the bonding, I did the PowerPoint presentation, and then they picked up their computer. They weren't on their phone, they were on the computer. They picked up their laptop and they walked around their house, and they showed us their entire house with their laptop computer. And we said, oh, great, no problem. Give us a day or so, and we will get back to you with a report, and a price. And so we got back to them, and we decided that we were like freaking out because we had no idea really how much to charge for this, because we didn't want to go in here because they were totally on lockdown. We didn't want to go in there. I'm high risk. Raquel, my assistant stager, has two little kids, so she's kind of high risk. And we didn't want to go into this house because it was a husband and a wife. They were on lockdown. They had two kids. It was like in the beginning of April or the end of March. Total high risk. Nobody wanted to have anybody go anywhere. So we decided that we were going to do this totally. We were going to have them do it themselves. So we put together a report, and we sent it to them, and we charged them like $350. And in addition to telling them every step of the way what to do, step by step, room by room, exactly what to do, we also got online and picked out furniture for them. Because as you can see, there's no furniture.
Yeah.
There's no furniture in here. Okay. So we actually got online and selected furniture for them and made furniture suggestions that they could buy, where they could go and order the furniture and pick it up without having to go in and get it. And of course, where's the only place where you could order furniture and pick it up and not go in and get it during the pandemic? There was only one place. IKEA.
IKEA.
Yeah, IKEA. So, and it worked. So let's go to the next photo.
Yeah. I love what you did here. And honestly, this doesn't look like IKEA furniture.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It looked great. And they took down their climbing wall, and they repaired the wall, and I think they painted, and they did everything. And they bought an IKEA plant, and they did everything we told them to do, and the house sold like immediately. I mean, it was incredible. They did all the changes that we needed them to do upstairs. They made the bed that we told them. We told them how to make a bed. We told them how to put the pillows together. We told them how to everything. We told them everything. And they did it. And it was amazing. And we were very, very proud that we did this with this house, and we never set foot in the house.
Yeah, I loved your idea of pivoting and still being able to help the clients that you needed to help and serve them.
Well, the main thing is that I started doing this because when I had my house in Texas, and I was given 5 month notice in 2007 that I had to sell my house and move to Chicago, and if I didn't, I was going to get stuck with either rent and mortgage or two mortgages, and I was freaking out because I knew I couldn't afford rent and mortgage or two mortgages. And I found out about home staging. I found a school in Southern California. They sent me a box of books, books where you have to turn the pages and touch them and read them. Yeah. And I read them. I took the test. I got certified. I Uber staged my house, including taking 95% of the clothes out of my closet and putting them into suitcases and pushing them underneath my bed. And if we ever wanted to change our clothes, we had to pull the suitcases out from under our bed. But the closet was like this display closet. It was gorgeous. And waking up an hour early so that I could take a shower and then wipe down the floor and the bathroom so that it was dry and beautiful and didn't smell, and Febrezing it and everything in the kitchen, and everything was perfect. Anytime anyone wanted to come into the house sold in 8 weeks instead of 12 to 18 months. And I made a $75,000 profit. And I moved to Chicago, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to get another stupid job. I'm going to make my own company. And I did. And the rest is history. So
I love that story that you actually utilized staging and then decided you wanted to go into it. So
well,
this,
I wanted to help other people the way it helped me to sell my house. So go ahead.
yeah, and I like this transformation that we just actually saw, because a lot of people don't realize that you need to actually show each room the way it was purposely constructed, and what's the actual purpose of the room, not just whatever you
Right.
decide to make it. So
Right.
that was a great
Exactly.
transformation. So what
Thank you.
about this
Thank you.
house?
Okay. Now, this house was very interesting. This was on the market for 3 months. And the poor realtor, who is now a big fan of mine, this was the first house that she called me about. If you look at this house, you go, what is this room? Talk about purpose. You look at this room, you go, what is this room? I don't know what this is. Is this a living room? Is this, I don't know what this is. Is this a family room? I don't know what this is. And what is that big hole over on the side? Indentation. I don't know what that is. And it's very strange when you look on the MLS and you see these strange rooms. And also I had looked at the rooms originally online, and all the walls look really gray, don't they? And it's like that I had talked to the realtor, and I asked her, I said, well, first of all, she had she decided to use my brain is not enough coffee here this morning. She had used oh, bananas. That other fake staging where they put the photos in,
Oh,
and
virtual staging.
virtual staging. Thank you very much. Yeah, my brain was going crazy there for a minute. Wonky brain. They had used virtual staging for 3 months, and no one had made an offer. And I got to tell you, this is a gorgeous house in a gorgeous neighborhood, and it was sitting there for 3 months. So she called me and she said, please save me. Can you stage this house? I said, absolutely. So, I said, so I looked at the house online, and I said, so this is a gray house, right? It's gray. The carpeting is gray. The walls are gray. She said, yes, it is. I said, okay, fine. And it's the first time that I did not go over to the house. First time, only time in 14 years, did not go over and look. So we loaded up the truck. We went over there with all gray furniture. And show the next picture.
Yeah.
It was not gray. It was beige. So we had to change out the furniture. And yeah. But it turned out great. And it actually, that's the wrong photo.
Oh, wait, hold on.
There should be another. There should be another one.
There you go.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So actually, that's the family room. That's the family room, and I ended up putting white in there. And if you look, the walls are actually beige, but they've got that gray tint to it. Yeah. And because red is my favorite color, and red is one of our colors of our company logo and everything, I always put red in certain places, and everybody always loves my little red colors that I put.
So what, I mean, like, what was that little alcove actually supposed to be used for?
I don't know what that was for. I don't know what the builder intended that to be, and it was just like crazy. It was like, what am I supposed to put there? So I put 3 little end tables and some really cute uh, plants on top of them, and I put the TV over it. I hung the TV over it, as you can see there. It's like, I don't know what the builder intended that to be, but I just kind of ignored it. Because I couldn't figure out what it was that the builder wanted to do with that. Really, it could, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it was supposed to be. Maybe it was supposed to be I don't know. I can't imagine. I really can't imagine.
So how quickly did this house end up selling?
Oh, this one sold. They put it on the market on the weekend, and it sold over the weekend. It sold in 2 days. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. This is the living room. Same house. This is the living room.
yeah.
And then you can go to the next photo and see. Look, they even have these weird cutouts, and it's like, it's kind of cool, but it was like I was really having trouble. And there's the after. Yeah. And
yeah, it's weird how they have like different. They have the carpet in certain sections, but not all of it. Yeah. And then
I know, and it's like that's a very that's not a real usual thing in Vegas, and especially not in this particular neighborhood of Summerlin. This is kind of a unique thing, and yeah.
But I like that you. Well, that's the other best part about home staging is that we take these problem areas and we either fix them and highlight them, or direct the buyer's eyes somewhere else, so they're not getting distracted by them. So I think without the furniture in this room, people could really get distracted by that carpet and the angle.
Well, that's the thing, is that they would look at this room and they would go, I have no idea where I would put, the statistics say that 90% of the population don't know what to do with a vacant room. They don't know where to put the furniture. And I can't tell you the number of houses that I go to that are occupied, that all they really need me to do is move their furniture around. And so I spend like at least 2 hours moving furniture around because their furniture is on the wrong wall. Because the architect actually designed the house to have the bed on a certain wall, and when these people moved in, they put the bed on the wrong wall. And it's like, and when I say wrong, I mean it, because the architect meant for the bed to be on a specific wall. And so, yeah, they put their bed on the wrong wall. And it's funny, because when you put it on the right wall, they go, oh, gosh, that feels so much better. And they walk into the room, they go, oh, it just feels so much better. It's like, yeah, that's because this is the wall the architect meant for the wall to go on. Yeah. And they go, oh, it just feels so much better. And that's why when you stage it properly, and I'm not decorating, I'm staging the house to show off the house, not the good taste of the person that owns the house. So
yeah, you need to definitely consider the function and the flow of your property as you're.
Yeah. And it's not always the symmetry, it's balance. It's the balance. Many times it's more the balance and not necessarily symmetry. So.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing these. And I think it's important. I know people ask all the time, I want to see staging transformation. So to see these rooms come from either vacant, bland, everyday generic spaces, and that you've turned them into, you turn them into these masterpieces where people can actually visualize themselves living in there. And
Thank you.
I mean, it makes all the difference. And so if you guys
It
have
does.
it does for sure. Candy is saying, I would like to stage my home for living, not for selling. Yes, Candy, there's so many different ways to do that. Do you have any tips for that, Gail?
Absolutely. It, one of the things, that's one of the things my now ex-husband wanted me to do, is he wanted me to stage the house. He says, can we live in a staged house? It's actually, what you want to do is, basically look at the house. Well, like, start with the living room and look at the where you have the sofa, and make sure that the sofa is on the wall that the architect decided planned that it should be on, which is basically the largest wall. Okay, that's the first thing. And then you want to make sure that your love seat, if you have a love seat, is on the shorter wall, but not interfering with the traffic. Okay, and then if you have a chair, you also want to make sure that that chair is preferably in close in to the making a conversation area, but it's not not interrupting the traffic flow. So that way you're creating a conversation pit, but this is you're showing off your furniture, so you're decorating, but you're also staging the area. And then you want to make sure that for the balance and the symmetry, because you're going to have matching end tables and matching lamps. And then you can also add, like, even from IKEA, you can get matching faux little plants, and also the little pots that go with them. And that's a really nice touch. And then if your coffee table has two different levels, you can get magazines that go on the lower level, and you can have a faux plant or some kind of centerpiece that you put on your coffee table. Mm-hmm. And that, in that sense, you will have staged your living room area, and that can be a beginning. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to have maybe one nicely sized piece of art over your sofa, and you want to hang. This is a little trick. You want to hang your piece of art so that about the just a little bit higher than the middle of the artwork is the eye level of a 5'8" person. So I'm about 5 feet. So I hold it out because at my level, and then I hold it up like this, which just happens to be at a 5'8" person. And so I make sure that it's about that. But hanging over a sofa, you always want to make sure that it's high enough so when a person sits on the sofa and they put their head back, that they're not going to bump their head on your art. Okay. You also want to make sure that it's centered in the middle of the sofa, but also centered with the cushions. So it depends on how many cushions that you have. Okay, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, she's actually asking how to edit accessories. That's where she's having trouble.
Oh, okay. Edit. I like that. Okay. Well, what you want to do is what kind of things are you talking about?
I don't know, Candy. If you can elaborate on that a little more in the comments section, we could probably help you a little bit better here. But I would also say too, in terms of accessories, you only want to have things out that are kind of important to you and that makes sense in that area or that zone of where it is in your house. And anything that is smaller than a softball, right? That's what we usually judge it by. You don't necessarily need it. So I would say keep more of your larger accessories and see if you can get rid of, sell, donate, do something with those smaller ones that might actually be making your home look a little bit more cluttered than it should be.
An example is I have in my family room, which is really my living room, I have my television, and then I have two shelves. I have a shelf on either side. I have my collectibles, and those collectibles are very meaningful to me. And I like people to see those when they come over, and so they're very meaningful to me. I have the smallest. Speaking of which, the smallest, like you're saying, did you say a baseball or a basketball?
A softball.
Softball. Okay, softball. Um, the smallest thing I have, I'm just thinking. Let's see, do I have something to show you? Okay. With this is looking really big, but let's see. Let me take it back here. No, that's not working. Okay. Um, this is better. Okay. It's it's a little bigger than this. It's about this big. Okay. And it's an Indian bowl that my cousin gave me years ago that I have carried with me. I have actually, and here's a fun thing, a fun bit of stuff about me. I've actually moved 17 times with movers because I was married. My ex-husband was in the military. So I moved 17 times with movers. And I actually carried that with me, and it did not break. And she got it, I think, from, I can't remember which tribe of Indians she got it from, but she gave it to me, and it means a lot to me. And it's on my shelf, and I have it with three other items that are similar. And that's one of the things that I always like to do. I always like to decorate with odd numbered items. So when I put, I try not to put one single item. I try to put like three items together. But if you like if you put, I try to put three items together and decorate that way. But if you have one item and it's a little bit larger, that's always good to do. But if you've got little, here, hold on. If you got like, if you've got something like this.
Oh yeah.
Where are we?
Yep.
Here. Like this. This is not the best thing to have out. It's too tiny. Look how tiny that is. Okay. That's right. Either I have a big nose or this is very tiny. Okay. Sitting back in my seat. This actually was brought to me by one of my dogs. She dug it up in my very first house that I bought in California a long time ago. She actually dug this up in the backyard and brought this to me. And can you believe that? And it was in the dirt, buried in the dirt in my backyard. I have no idea how it got there, and I don't know how long it had been there, but she brought this to me. And so I carry this around with me all the time. And I feel like I'm going to stay in this house. I feel like they're going to have to carry me out of this house feet first, right? Okay. But because I love this house. I love living here in Vegas. I love living in this house. But this is very meaningful to me. But I keep it here in my office on my shelf. And I know that it's there, and I know that I got this from my little baby dog from so many years ago. But I'm not going to keep it in my living room. So does that help answer it?
Well, yeah, and all she added was tabletops, and so what I would say for that is,
tabletop. Okay.
I would say for that is that you want to keep your tabletops pretty clear, but if you wanted to have certain accessories out, what I like to do on a lot of my tabletops is have some type of a tray, so it corrals your accessories.
Absolutely. That's perfect answer. What I like to do in staging and also at home is I put out a tray, and I like to use a plant, or I like to use, and preferably I like to use a plant, and or flowers in a basket or something like that, or an arrangement. That's what I like to use on my coffee table.
Yeah. I don't have a coffee table right now, but what I did use a tray, and even on my my table back here, I have a tray. There's nothing really on it, But I like to, at least whenever you're going to use accessories, not if you're going to be using them in a built-in or maybe on a media center, you don't necessarily need this, but you want to have something that you're building the base off of, where your accessories can then sit on, because it makes it look more cohesive and put together.
Yeah, and like when I stage, I oftentimes will put a tray with a bottle of wine, not real wine. Does that? It's a wine bottle with water in it, and two wine glasses, and I'll put that out. But there's always a tray with it, and then I quite frequently will put a tray with a teapot and two mugs and a tray with artificial muffins and fruit on the bed, and I do that specifically to keep people from jumping on my bed, and it works every time. Yep, works every time, because I don't want people jumping on my bed, and it always works. Yeah.
That would work. That would kind of prohibit them from getting on there.
Yeah, keeps them from sitting on the bed, keeps them from doing anything on the bed.
Candy, yeah, please feel free. I'm putting my email in the comments, but feel free to share your pictures at tori@toritalk.com. I'd love to see them and see if we could help.
Yeah, can you give them mine too?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, let us know where can people go find more information about you, Gail?
Yes, if you wanna contact me directly, you can reach me at enhance your home at att.net. So that's ENHANCE, your home at att.net.
I put that in the chat too, so everyone can see that. If you want to see more transformations, you can head over to Gail's website, and
which is EYHvegas.com.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why well, first of all, because I'm a member of RISA and IHASP, all of my photos are my photos. I never use stock photography. I'm not allowed to, or I lose my membership. So I will never use stock photography. I don't have just pretty photos. I have my pretty photos, and I have before and after photos. I have before and after photos for occupied, and I have before and after photos for vacant. And I have that on and it's like, I feel funny because I see some of these other websites and they're so pretty and they show all these pretty pictures. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. You know?
Well, there's all different types of stagers too, right? There's stagers who do luxury vacants. There's stagers who just work with the occupieds like you do. There's stagers who just do occupied consultations. So they don't even really, they're not even the ones who are implementing the work in the pictures. So.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing is that no, I mean, I don't just work with occupied. I work with vacants, obviously, but I have my own furniture. I don't rent furniture. I have my own furniture. God knows I have furniture. Actually, I'm having a garage sale this weekend, getting rid of some of my furniture, which I'm so excited, so that I can buy new furniture. Yay!
The vicious cycle of staging.
Yes. I'm tired of some of my furniture, so we're having a sale. Yay!
That's awesome. Well, Gail, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This is exciting, and I'm glad we were able to show some of the transformations and kind of get the backstory, because people don't really realize what's all involved in home staging. And so that's what this show's all about. Make sure that you guys join us next week, 4 p.m. Eastern, for another amazing episode of Storytale Staging. Have a good one, guys. Bye.